Hello out there, you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear, listening into another Gamer's Thoughts discussion. And Phil, Mr. Phil Spencer, we need to have a conversation, good sir. I mean, I'm a little confused. Now, history dictates that Microsoft, during, like, just before the GameCube was launched, I believe, or right around the launch of the GameCube, was attempting to acquire Nintendo. And I believe a certain president / owner at the time had told them that they could basically stick it where the sun don't shine, if you know what I mean. So, in what world, where the company has made more money, has been more successful, has a stronger grip on the global economy, would they decide at all to say, hey, yeah, we're going to give up all of this progress we're making right now to come work for you? Where does that make any sense? You want to just roll up in the Nintendo's office? Yeah, baby, you don't gotta worry about doing nothing with no hardware anymore. Just worry about the software. Let me handle that, baby. Who made Phil Spencer think that he was a pimp that was going to pimp Nintendo into working for him and working the streets for him? I have no idea. And I do hope that made somebody laugh, because that's very unexpected of me to do. But still, who made Phil Spencer think that he was going to have his career-defining moment in getting Nintendo to sell to Microsoft? Mario is more recognized than Mickey Mouse. Mario is more recognized than Mickey Mouse. Let that little bit of information sink in. Then consider that Microsoft has always been the third place platform manufacturer. And before anyone says it, oh well, the Wii U didn't, zip it. Total hardware sales. You include the 3DS with the Wii U. Microsoft has always been in third place. Whether it's software or hardware, to be fair, they've always been third place among the three. There's been Sony and Nintendo bouncing back and forth between first and second. Which still makes me wonder why the hell Sony decided that they had to follow what Microsoft was doing when they were already in better position than them. But, well, that's an aside. My thing is, Phil, why would Nintendo want to sell to Microsoft in the first place? Do you guys think that just because you fostered a few deals and worked out some contracts that Nintendo is just going to bend the knee to you, when literally the opposite has been happening? Like, make sense of this for me. If I'm third place, and I've acknowledged this much, I've always been third place, what would make you think that I'm going to go to I'm the bronze medalist. What makes you think I'm going to go tell the gold medalists how they need to get a gold medal when they've already got it? They've already done what I've done and exceeded what I have done. So how am I going to tell them how to get there when they're already there? No, part of me thinks that they've been looking at the fact that they haven't really been able to put out much software at all with all these studios that they bought up. And something tells me Phil thought that, hey, if we can get Nintendo on board, maybe they can corral all of these studios that we bought up, all of these companies we bought up, and get them to start producing some games. Because I get the feeling that if they were able to, and just the scenario running in my head, if they were able to get Nintendo, they were able to acquire Nintendo, they would fuck Nintendo up. Because they'd start pulling people from Nintendo's teams, putting them with other teams to try to get those projects managed and worked on. Which may be an improvement for some of those games. But then those resources that Nintendo normally has are taken away from their teams, and then their games start to drop in quality. Plus, Microsoft doesn't know how to keep their hands out of the pot. You don't go into the chef's kitchen and start fucking with the food before they finish preparing it. And before I say this, I know that there are some really good, very skilled home cooks out there. Do not take this as a slight to you guys at all for the 1% of you that might stumble across this discussion. But I'm not going to have the home cook go into the kitchen of the 5-star chef and tell them how to cook the meal. Not doing it. No, not happening. Just not happening at all. I'm not gonna go into one of Gordon Ramsay's restaurants while he's there cooking, and then walk in and say, "Hey, Chef Ramsay, you need to redo that. You need to redo that before it comes off, before the plate even makes it to the table. You need to fix that." I'm sorry, I'm not qualified. Just not qualified. I'm not qualified to tell him how to do his job. The only qualification I would have is if I'm a consumer and what he gave me was shit, and I have to tell him that what he gave me was shit. But I'm not going to be able to tell him before it's released to the table, yo, go fix that. It don't work. And I foresee like a Microsoft owned Nintendo is going to be garbage. People would think, well, no, if they had Nintendo, they'll leave them alone. No, they won't. They will not leave them alone. Look at every other team Microsoft has bought. They're not going to leave them alone. For some, it's an improvement. For others, not so much. But look at the teams that they've created also. Going nowhere. I don't want to crap all over them, but I'm just looking at the situation as realistically as possible. A Nintendo that is owned by Microsoft is going to drop in quality because their resources would get spread thin. I already know that's what will happen. Plus, they don't really have that great of a track record. If we're being honest, Microsoft with various teams, you always hear about somebody leaving a project because they're mad or they're upset about something, or they were it just happens so commonly. They need to work on their workplace culture versus trying to buy everything the hell up. And people should have started seeing the signs when it came down to Platinum, and Platinum stopped wanting to work on stuff for Xbox. They just wholeheartedly stopped wanting to work on stuff for them after the whole Scalebound thing. There's reason to that, and it's not a good idea to try to have Microsoft try to scoop everybody up. It's just not a good idea. We don't need everybody under one umbrella. Plus, I know that he feels like, hey, if we can get Nintendo stuff on our platforms, That would be a huge boost for us. It would be. It would be a huge boost for Microsoft. It wouldn't be the other way around. Let's just look at this. Ori and the Blind Forest. The Ori games ended up on the Switch, even though the developer, the creator of the series, had some words about that before it was a thing. That ended up turning around. Banjo ends up in Smash to promote the Banjo games on Xbox. GoldenEye, the better version of the N64 game, is on the Switch. It just, to put it lightly, if it weren't for all the stuff that Nintendo made, that you ended up, or that was made for Nintendo through Rare, that you guys got, you probably wouldn't have much. And you don't have much. Because your teams aren't putting much out. Having Bethesda, yeah, Bethesda can pump out some games, but Bethesda was already working on those games. Like, Bethesda was already working on those games before ZeniMax was acquired by Microsoft. We have no idea about what new games Bethesda is working on under the Microsoft banner. Now, again, I will say that the game Starfield just recently came out. Bethesda was already working on that. The next, what was it, Elder Scrolls? Next Elder Scrolls game. Bethesda was already working on that. They were already working on these. They already had a game plan and stuff in motion before ZeniMax was bought up by Microsoft. So, yeah, we don't know what a Microsoft-owned Bethesda does. Because we're still working with what Bethesda was already. So, yeah. Maybe it'll be an improvement. Maybe not. Still waiting to see how this goes. But I just can't. I can't see them. And to know that Nintendo's higher ups laughed at that idea, bruh, I'm just. Ooh, gosh. I would love to do a hearty laugh track and just post it to meme on it. I can't because I'd be disturbing other people in my house, and I'm not known for being Mr. Loud and yell all the time. I do rant and rave sometimes, but I don't yell and scream on a regular basis, so I don't want to alarm anyone and make them think, oh, hey, something's happening when I'm just doing a laugh track. But still, I look at this and I'm just like, y'all really thought that you was just going to be like, yeah, baby, come on, baby, just come over here, just come to my place, work on things over at my house. Nah, it ain't happening. Ain't happening. Nintendo gave y'all the side-eye, laughed, and walked the fuck away. That's what happened. They gave them the side-eye, laughed, and proceeded to keep going where they was going. Oh man, I can't help but look at it in these weird scenarios in my head, like just like having Phil Spencer try to be a pimp, roll up. Like, come on, baby, you ain't got to worry about doing none of this in here. I give you all the resources you need. All you got to do is come work for me. Like, they just see all the Nintendo staff just look at his ass like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Just bust into tears laughing that hard. I could see that happening. It's just one of those things, like, back when they were worth less money, they would have laughed you out of the office. Now you have an idea in your head that you're going to define your career by trying to attempt to purchase Nintendo. One, they don't want to sell. Two, you're going to have a tough time getting Japan to get on board with that. And three, They are about to split off into other media. They are about to become like, if we're looking at this correctly, they are about to become a media conglomerate. I don't think you're going to be able to take them. They're more successful now. More successful. Where did the idea that we're just going to buy Nintendo, where did that idea spring up? Is it because Microsoft attempted it before and they were stupid enough to think that Rare owned Donkey Kong without actually doing the research? Even though Donkey Kong games existed before Rare ever touched one? I mean, like, I'm just curious. I'm very curious. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I'm a little lost on this. Because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, and at that point, like, if you were going to attempt to buy one, why not try to buy Sony? I mean, I'm pretty sure Sony ain't going to sell to you, but still, if I was going to attempt one of the two, it wouldn't have been Nintendo. It wouldn't have been Nintendo. I'd have been like, okay, Sony, what y'all doing? But I'm pretty sure Sony would do the same thing and just laugh at y'all asses and let you walk away. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. It doesn't make sense to go after a company that's doing better than when you last attempted to go after them. It's like, oh, hey, I got in a ring with them. They whooped my ass the first time. They've racked up a bunch of wins since then. I haven't. But I'm going to jump in the ring with them again and attempt to win and get my ass hammered. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And if y'all were going to, again, based on media perception, if you were going to, why not do this during the time of the Wii U having its problems? Like, did this not occur to you? I mean, after this is after the Wii was a booming success and the DS was a booming success, so you very likely would have still got the same result, but it would have made more sense then to say, hey, we're interested in going ahead and acquiring Nintendo. I don't, again, Phil, I have no fucking clue where your brain was, man. I don't know who told you that it was a good idea. If it was your boss man, Patera, whatever his name is. If it was his idea, that's even worse. Because him as a man higher up in the company, and he has, I'm assuming he has more access to information, he should have known better. But if this was solely you, Phil, ain't no defending that. That is blatant cognitive dissonance. That's all it is. It's like your brain turned off history and said, I'm gonna go and shoot my shot. But history says, no, buddy, not working, not happening. If we would give you a lovely parting gift of our joyous laughter as you leave the scene, but no, we are not setting any contracts where we belong to you. Sorry, just not happening. Not gonna go. No, we're not doing that, buddy. I am honestly, and I mean this. I don't ever really use this word, but I am truly befuddled by this. Like, I use the word sparingly because it's not a word I normally really use. But you've got to think. And I mean, fanboys of all calibers had to have laughed at this. Fanboys of every platform had to have laughed at this. That's how bad the idea was. I could imagine the fanboys having a war, fighting each other, and then Phil Spencer tries to drop out like gaming Jesus and says he's going to purchase Nintendo, everyone would stop fighting, turn and look at him, point and laugh. That's how horrible of an idea it was. Like, you have for at least a solid 5 minutes broke down the console war. You at least did that. You at least stopped the console war for a solid 5 minutes of hard, chest-hurting laughter. You definitely did that. But I don't know. I like, and people probably, I know somebody who's having had listened to all my recent stuff, especially where I was in more defense of Microsoft, and then you come hear me talk about this. Somebody's going to think, well, he turned on Microsoft. No, I was never with Microsoft like that. I game where gaming is good for me. I don't game based on a brand loyalty. I look at the brands based on what they are doing currently and what they have done before, but I don't hinge a loyalty to any brand. Because I did that with Sega, and Sega stopped being a console manufacturer. So yeah, I don't do that anymore. No, I don't do that anymore. But gosh, man, I could go on. I could talk for an hour about the different scenarios I could create in my head to point out how silly this is. I could, but I'm not going to, because I think I'm pretty sure I have rubbed enough salt and dirt in the wound. So I'm going to let Microsoft have a breather. They've been through the ringer for a little bit recently. So I'm going to let them breathe and then move on. But that's it. Thank you guys very much for listening, and keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me. And until the next time, enjoy your games. And if there's anything you'd like to add on, please do. Peace out, everybody. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy, and I'd like to thank you once again for tuning in. If you would be interested in supporting my efforts in content creation, please head on over to Amazon and look up The Game Idea Guy Presents Gaming Word Search, and you will find both Volume 1 and Volume 2 up for sale. Thank you very much once again, and I hope to be able to create more content for you in the future. Peace out.